Hello and welcome back to the channel. I am currently in a G20 320i. Yes, I know, it's crazy. I never thought I would find myself in such a low-end BMW, but if you've been following the channel, you'll know that I've recently had the brakes upgraded on the M140i to the M Performance, and I booked the car in to go and get the software updated to basically tell the car that it is running the 370mm rotor M Performance brakes, to make sure that the traction control works all perfectly for the track day in about a week. Stay tuned for that. If you are interested in seeing an M140 go flat chat around the track, make sure you subscribe. I will be getting my father in the car at the same time when we go around the track. That should be funny. Now, I wanted to share some first-hand experiences. I guess like this is the first time I've sat in a G20. I've seen the dash online, I've seen people driving them, and I never really gave it enough credit. I don't think the dash in this through photos and videos doesn't look all that crash hot, but from my F20 M140i, this thing is just leaps and bounds ahead. It's kind of crazy that the 2018 LCI2 M140i has such a dated dash. I've always been a BMW fanboy and always thought, well, they've stuck to the tradition, you know, the traditional dials and stuff like that, and I always thought that was the right thing until I sat in this car and started using it. The technology is just leaps and bounds above the 1 Series. To be fair though, the 1 Series is the lower end of the scale. However, the tech in this, the dash, the Android Auto, finally, praise the Lord. The F20 or the M140i does not have Android Auto, and obviously you have to pay for CarPlay if you wish to activate it as well. So to have that functionality, being an Android user, yeah, I know, I'm Android. It really is a pleasure to see this in the car, and it works so seamlessly. In the past, BMW have tried to do their own maps and own software updates, but I think we can all be in agreement that the future is Google, and leave it in their hands. I've heard that the new car will be receiving is they've had an argument, or there's something not right with the discussions between BMW and Google. So their next iDrive system will be running the Android platform, but it won't be running the normal Android from Google. So it'd be interesting to find out a little bit more about that, but this seems to work perfectly. We've still got the buttons inside the cabin, which I love to see. That's going to be going in the next generation or the next iteration of the dash. In regards to comfort, probably see me bouncing around a little bit. It's still a little bit stiff, but road noise is minimal. The suspension works great. Pressing the sport button in a 320i, to be quite honest, it doesn't really feel like it does all that much. Again, to be fair, it's a 320, probably doesn't have active exhaust and stuff like that. I'm not sure, but the initial impression is pressing sport is more of a feature, I think, that's been added to make people feel like they're in a sportier car. After driving my M140 for so long, it feels so much better. The fact that obviously it's only a 320, the engine is obviously not there. It's not the B58 engine, which I think we can all agree on is a fantastic engine. And this little, I think, is it a 4-cylinder? You can hear a little bit of turbo flutter if you have the window down and you're accelerating, which is a little bit of fun, but it has enough power for the street. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You're not going to get an overly what's the word? Sport Plus. Exciting experience when driving this car. It's more of a comfortable feel and more relaxed. You definitely feel like you're in an important car. You feel like you're in a prestigious car. Everything seems well built. Everything's holding together quite well. I did notice that it is quite a hot day, and when I got into the car initially and I started driving it first off, I did hear a little creaks and cracks in the plastic, probably because of the heat. But overall, the general feel of all the buttons and stuff all feel pretty good. The buttons 1 through to 8 for track selection and stuff, they feel a bit crappy. It almost feels like it's the one button, and yeah, when you press it, it sort of feels like it presses the whole front pad, which feels a bit crappy. But apart from that, you cannot fault the interior. And if you are comparing it to the M140i, well, I hate to say it, I'm going to pick up my M140i now. I'm not looking forward to sitting in it as much as I would in this car. I do obviously get a hell of a lot more excitement out of driving the M140i. It's loud, it's obnoxious. It's a bit look at me, but when it comes to cruising and actually driving, unfortunately, I hate to say it, this lower spec 320i beats it in leaps and bounds. So I just wanted to share my initial reaction of the 320i. I didn't expect to be this surprised. I'm pleasantly surprised, but I did have a look online, and depending on condition and age, with a few Ks, you're looking at about 65,000, and brand new can range all the way up to about 80 or 90,000. So definitely not a cheap car. If you were to drive this car and it was the M340i, it would be an amazing car. The M340i, you're looking at about $100,000 here in Australia, so it's not the cheapest car. And I've got the B58 and an M140i, so I wouldn't really see the benefit in upgrading. You're going to get a better dash and better feel and better cabin. However, I don't think the extra money is necessarily warranted for this. So the 320i, a surprising vehicle. If you are considering looking at getting one, I'd certainly say go and test drive one, because it may very well exceed your expectations. And this is coming from a flat out BMW enthusiast that loves the M cars, loves going fast, but after sitting in this, yeah, it's won me over. Anyway, stay tuned, make sure you subscribe. If you want to see the track video where I take my dad around the track, do not miss it. It's going to be funny. Peace. Stay safe and happy boosting.